Hey everybody, Zatman here. I'm here to talk about a somewhat controversial topic on the PTS right now, and the topic is that gold now denies only 50% of the total gold incoming from creeps rather than 100% that is live right now. A lot of people are against this change, however, I for one am for this change. I'm not sure if, let's say, 50% is the perfect amount, or it's the right way to do it. But one reason why I like this is because it allows for more gods to be viable. Right now, I guess I'll reference this to just the dual lane because it's what I'm an expert at. Right now, the dual lane is pretty limited in terms of what you pick, and what people normally pick are gods that have really good pushing for obvious reasons because they don't want the creeps to end up on their tower and they lose all the gold for it. So right now, if we look at the current meta, pretty much the powerful AD carry picks are gods that have full clear abilities or the ability to clear the wave effectively and quickly. Gods like Apollo, Rom, Anhur. Sometimes you have mages in dueling like Vulcan. What do they all have in common? They have an ability that can hit all the creeps and kill them almost in one shot. And pretty much they all kill it in one shot with the exception of Rama. However, Rama does it in about 2 or 3 arrows. It's really not a big deal. It doesn't put him in harm's way or anything like that. And not only that, it also support picks are very limited as well. Some of the high tier supports are Sylvanas. You almost don't see Geb picked anymore because he's very passive compared to Sylvanas. You see a lot of Ymirs, things like that. In the worlds, EU brought out Ares, but however, it's really not a popular pick, and it was only brought out maybe a handful of times. But that's pretty much it. You don't see Sobex, you don't see Bacchuses, you don't see Kumbas. You rarely see Ares, like I mentioned. And for hunters, you don't see Cupids, you don't see Artemises, you don't see Xbalanques and things like that. A god that I want to harp on that this change affects the most, I think, is Xbalanque. Many regard Xbalanque as super weak tier because his push is just so terrible that it's so easy for the top tier AD carries at the moment or hunters at the moment to bully him and just destroy him to the point that he can never recover. However, a change like this, the gold change, will actually benefit Xbalanque. Someone who's super weak in the early game, if he's able to get out of the early game, he has one of the best late games out of any hunter in the entire game. And I think that this new change in the gold mechanic or the tower denying gold mechanic will allow gods like Xbalanque and Artemis who have a super weak early game but a strong late game to actually be viable and actually be able to be picked. Also, that goes for supports. Gods like Bacchus and Kumba who have a weak early game but actually do really well in team fights. And Bacchus arguably has one of the best late game team fights out of all the supports. It'll make them viable. I personally would like to see the mechanic of if you can last hit the creeps under tower or that get hit by the tower, if you can last hit them, then you get full gold. This would allow lanes like Anhur, Sylvanas, who like to keep the pressure on, it'll allow them to continue to poke you under tower while you're trying to get the last hit on the creeps to get full gold. So they don't lose their advantage. Also, they can still be able to push the wave and try to poke you under tower, whereas if the mechanic that it is now, where it only denies 50% no matter what happens, it'll slow down the game a lot. The best way to not deny would be to zone, and to zone would be to last hit, and that couples with how you cannot tag the creeps and rotate because leeching doesn't work that way anymore. It'll slow down the game a lot because the support and the hunter will have to stay in lane, zone out, which will take a lot of time and take away from a lot of the rotations, which will make fighting happen a lot less. It'll make lane fighting happen a lot less. However, if you what my suggestion is that if you can last hit under the tower to get the full gold, this will allow the aggressive lane to push aggressively and still try to poke you under tower, still get an advantage that way, and it'll still have more action. And the support can still rotate because you push the wave already. He doesn't have to wait around, sit around, and last hit with you. And that's pretty much my take on it. I do like the whole idea of being able to get gold when the tower hits the creeps. It'll just open up for a lot more picks, a lot more viability for other gods, and a lot of cool, fun new strategies. Sorry that this video was a bit raw. I kind of thought of it on top of my head that I wanted to discuss it, and so I started recording, and here it is. Those are basically my initial thoughts on it. So feel free to disagree, agree. It doesn't matter. Leave comments below on your opinions as well. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.